Imagine a world where one small act of kindness sparks a transformation. In a quiet park, Lily, a high school junior, stood up against bullies to defend a homeless man named Joe. What began as a simple gesture of empathy turned into an incredible journey that inspired an entire community. But the story doesn't end there. Just when Lily thought she had done her part, a mysterious benefactor arrived, opening doors she never dreamed of. A scholarship, a community project, and a chance to be a beacon of hope, Lily's life and the lives of many others would change forever. The laughter of the bullies echoed through the park, mixing harshly with the homeless man's pleas for mercy. It was a crisp autumn afternoon, the leaves a tapestry of gold and crimson under a deep blue sky. Lily, a junior in high school, sat under an oak tree, absorbed in her book. The sound of torment broke her focus, drawing her gaze to a trio of boys from her school harassing a homeless man. Her heart pounded. Known for her empathy and sense of justice, Lily couldn't just watch. She closed her book, stood, and approached them, every step a battle against her nerves. "Hey! Leave him alone!" Lily's voice was steady, belying her fear. The boys turned, sneering. "What's it to you, Lily?" Mike, the ringleader, jeered. "This isn't your business." "It becomes my business when someone's being treated like this," she replied, her voice firm. "Just go." The other boys, Sam and Jake, exchanged uncertain looks. Mike scoffed and shoved his hands into his pockets. "Whatever. This loser isn't worth it." As they walked away, still mocking her, Lily knelt beside the man. His clothes were worn, his face etched with lines of hardship. She offered a gentle smile. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. He looked up, surprise and gratitude in his eyes. "I will be, thanks to you. I'm Joe." "I'm Lily," she said, extending her hand. Joe hesitated, then shook it, his grip weak but sincere. "Why did you help me?" Joe asked, voice tinged with curiosity. "Because it was right," Lily replied simply. "No one deserves that." Joe nodded, his expression softening. "Thank you, Lily." Not many would have stepped in. Lily reached into her bag, pulling out a sandwich and a bottle of water. "Here, you must be hungry." Joe accepted the food with a grateful nod. "You're very kind." "Thank you." They sat in a comfortable silence, watching the leaves fall and listening to the distant laughter of children. Lily felt a peace she hadn't felt in a long time. "Do you come here often?" she asked, breaking the silence. Joe nodded. "It's one of the few places I can find peace. Life wasn't always like this for me." Lily looked at him with interest. "What happened?" Joe sighed, eyes distant. "I had a job, a family, a normal life. But things spiraled out of control after I lost my job. It's been hard to find my footing again." Lily listened intently, her heart aching for him. "I'm sorry, Joe." "That's tough." Joe shrugged, a bittersweet smile on his lips. "It is. But people like you give me hope." As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the park, Lily realized it was time to go. "I should get home," she said, standing and brushing off her jeans. "But I'll come back tomorrow. Maybe we can talk more?" Joe's eyes brightened. "I'd like that, Lily." "Thank you." Lily smiled and waved goodbye, her heart lighter. As she walked home, she thought of Joe and his story. She knew she had to help, but how? The next day, rumors of Lily's confrontation spread through the school. Some admired her bravery, others thought she was foolish. Lily ignored the whispers, focusing on her classes, eager to see Joe again. During lunch, her best friend Sarah sat down beside her. "I heard what happened yesterday," Sarah said, a mix of concern and admiration in her voice. "You really stood up to those guys." Lily nodded, taking a bite of her sandwich. "I couldn't just sit there. Joe needed help." Sarah smiled. "You've always had a big heart, Lily." Just be careful, okay? Those bullies might not back down next time. I'll be fine, Lily assured her. I just want to make a difference. After school, Lily returned to the park, her backpack filled with more food and some warm clothes. She found Joe on the same bench, watching the playground where children played. "Hi, Joe," Lily greeted, sitting down beside him. Joe smiled warmly. "Hi, Lily. Good to see you." They spent the afternoon talking, Joe sharing more about his past and Lily her dreams and hopes. She learned he had a daughter he hadn't seen in years, his eyes tearing up as he spoke of her. "I hope to see her again," Joe said, voice trembling. "I want to make things right." Lily felt a lump in her throat. "I'm sure you will, Joe. I'll help you however I can." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Lily felt she had found a true friend in Joe. She promised to visit him every day, to do whatever she could to help him get back on his feet. Walking home, Lily felt a newfound sense of purpose. Standing up to the bullies was just the beginning. There was so much more she could do, not just for Joe but for others like him who needed a hand. That night, as Lily lay in bed, she reflected on the day's events. She had taken a stand, made a difference, and in doing so, found a new friend. She fell asleep with a smile, looking forward to the impact she hoped to make. Unbeknownst to Lily, her act of kindness had set off a chain reaction that would lead to unexpected and extraordinary events, forever changing her life and the lives of those around her. The school hallway buzzed with whispers and side glances. Lily could feel the eyes of her classmates on her as she walked to her locker. Word of her confrontation with the bullies had spread quickly, and she had become an unexpected topic of discussion. "Hey, Lily," a voice called from behind. She turned to see Jake, one of the bullies from the park incident, walking toward her with a smirk on his face. "Heard you made a new friend. How's your homeless buddy?" Lily's heart raced, but she kept her composure. "Leave me alone, Jake," she said, her voice steady. Jake chuckled. "Relax, I'm just messing with you." "But seriously, why waste your time on someone like him?" "Because he's a person, and he deserves respect," Lily replied firmly. "You should try showing some for a change." Jake's smirk faltered, and he muttered something under his breath before walking away. Lily sighed in relief and turned back to her locker. She couldn't let these bullies get to her, she had more important things to focus on. During lunch, Lily sat with her best friend, Sarah, and a few other classmates. The topic of conversation inevitably turned to the park incident. "You're really brave, Lily," Sarah said, admiration clear in her eyes. "Not many people would have stood up to those guys." "Yeah," another friend, Ben, chimed in. "I heard they're really nasty. You should be careful." Lily nodded, grateful for their concern. "I know, but I couldn't just watch them torment Joe. He's a good person who's had a tough break." As the school day ended, Lily headed to the park, her backpack filled with food, clothes, and a few books. She found Joe sitting on the same bench, his eyes lighting up as he saw her approaching. "Hey, Joe," Lily greeted with a smile, sitting down next to him. "Hi, Lily," Joe replied, his voice warm. "It's good to see you again." Lily handed Joe a sandwich and a bottle of water. "I brought you something to eat. And I thought maybe we could read together." Joe accepted the food gratefully. "You're too kind, Lily. I don't know how to thank you." "You don't have to," Lily said, opening one of the books. "I enjoy spending time with you." They spent the afternoon reading and talking. Lily read aloud from one of her favorite novels, and Joe listened intently, occasionally sharing his thoughts on the story. They laughed and discussed the characters, finding solace in the escape literature provided. As the days passed, Lily's routine of visiting Joe became a comforting constant. She looked forward to their conversations and the bond they were forming. Meanwhile, word of Lily's actions continued to spread at school. Some students began to see her in a new light, admiring her courage and compassion. One afternoon, As Lily and Joe sat together in the park, a group of students approached them. Lily recognized them from school and felt a pang of anxiety, unsure of their intentions. "Hey, Lily," one of the girls said, smiling. "We heard about what you did. It's really cool that you're helping Joe." Lily relaxed slightly, her smile returning. "Thanks. Joe's a great person, and he deserves our help." The group sat down nearby, joining in the conversation. They brought food and clothes for Joe, eager to contribute. Joe looked overwhelmed but grateful, his eyes glistening with tears. "Thank you all," Joe said, his voice choked with emotion. "I don't know what to say." Lily squeezed his hand gently. "You don't have to say anything, Joe. We're all here to help." As the weeks went by, more students began to get involved. The park, once a place of isolation for Joe, became a hub of kindness and community. Lily's actions had sparked a ripple effect, inspiring others to step up and make a difference. One evening, as Lily sat at the dinner table with her family, she shared the day's events. Her parents listened intently, pride evident in their expressions. "You're doing a wonderful thing, Lily," her mother said, reaching out to hold her hand. "We're so proud of you." Lily smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. "Thanks, Mom. It feels good to help." Her father nodded in agreement. "Just be careful, sweetheart. Not everyone will be as supportive." "I know," Lily said. "But I have to keep trying. Joe and people like him need us." Later that night, as Lily lay in bed, she thought about the changes she had seen. The park had transformed into a place of hope, and Joe's situation was improving. But she knew there was still so much more to do. The next day, Lily arrived at the park to find Joe waiting for her with a broad smile. "I have some good news, Lily," he said, his eyes sparkling. "What is it?" Lily asked, her curiosity piqued. "A friend of mine told me about a job opening at a local carpentry shop," Joe said, his voice filled with excitement. "I'm going to apply. It's not much, but it's a start." Lily beamed with pride. "That's amazing, Joe. I know you'll get it. You're so talented." Joe nodded, his smile unwavering. "Thank you, Lily. I couldn't have done it without you." As they sat together, talking about Joe's plans and the future, Lily felt a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before. Helping Joe had given her life new meaning, and she knew she would continue to fight for those who needed a voice. Unbeknownst to Lily, her acts of kindness had reached even further than she realized. In the coming days, her efforts would catch the attention of someone who had the power to change her life in ways she could never have imagined. The sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park. Lily and Joe watched as the children played, their laughter filling the air. For the first time in a long while, Joe felt a glimmer of hope for the future, and Lily knew that together, they could make a difference. As they parted ways that evening, Lily promised to return the next day, ready to continue their journey. She walked home with a light heart, knowing that her actions had started a ripple effect that was slowly but surely changing the world around her. And so, with each passing day, Lily and Joe's bond grew stronger, and their small acts of kindness began to inspire a community, proving that one person's actions could indeed make a world of difference. The morning sun filtered through Lily's bedroom window, casting a warm glow on her face. She stretched and yawned, feeling a sense of contentment. Her visits to Joe had become the highlight of her days, and she was eager to see him again. As she got dressed, she noticed an unfamiliar envelope on her dresser. Her name was written in neat, careful handwriting, but there was no return address. Curious, Lily opened the envelope and pulled out a letter. As she read, her eyes widened in surprise. "Dear Lily, words cannot express how grateful I am for your kindness and support. Your friendship has given me hope and strength. I wanted to thank you in person, but I didn't have the courage, so I decided to write this letter instead. There is someone who wants to meet you. He is a wealthy benefactor who heard about your good deeds and is very impressed. He asked me to arrange a meeting with you. If you're interested, he will send a car to pick you up tomorrow afternoon. With deepest gratitude. Joe. Lily's heart raced as she finished reading the letter. A wealthy benefactor? Who could it be, and what did they want? She felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She decided to talk to her parents about it before making any decisions. At breakfast, Lily shared the letter with her mom and dad. They listened carefully, their expressions a mix of pride and concern. What do you think, Mom? Dad? Lily asked, looking from one to the other. Her mom was the first to speak. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity, but we need to make sure it's safe. Do you have any idea who this benefactor might be? Lily shook her head. No, but Joe trusts him, so I think it's worth finding out. Her dad nodded thoughtfully. We'll be here to support you, Lily. Let's make sure to take all necessary precautions. Maybe I can go with you to meet this person. Lily felt reassured by her parents' support. Thanks, Dad. That would make me feel a lot better. The next day, a sleek black limousine pulled up in front of Lily's house right on schedule. The neighbors peeked through their curtains, curious about the unexpected visitor. Lily's dad stood by her side as they watched a well-dressed chauffeur step out of the car and approach them. Good afternoon, Miss Lily. Mr. Reynolds sent me to escort you to his residence, the chauffeur said politely, tipping his hat. Lily exchanged a glance with her dad before nodding. Thank you. My dad will be coming with me. Of course, sir, the chauffeur replied, opening the door for them. The drive to Mr. Reynolds' mansion was quiet and smooth. Lily gazed out the window, her mind racing with possibilities. Who was this Mr. Reynolds, and why was he interested in her? She clutched the letter in her hand, finding comfort in Joe's words. They arrived at a large, gated estate on the outskirts of town. The mansion was grand and elegant, surrounded by manicured gardens and tall, stately trees. The chauffeur opened the door, and Lily and her dad stepped out, marveling at the opulence. Mr. Reynolds, a distinguished-looking man in his late 50s, greeted them at the door with a warm smile. Welcome, Lily. I've heard so much about you. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds, Lily said, shaking his hand. This is my dad. I hope you don't mind him coming along. Not at all, Mr. Reynolds replied, extending his hand to Lily's dad. Please, come inside. I have much to discuss with you. They followed Mr. Reynolds through the grand foyer and into a cozy sitting room. Lily and her dad took seats on a plush sofa, while Mr. Reynolds sat across from them, his expression kind and thoughtful. Lily, I've been following your story for a while now, Mr. Reynolds began. Your compassion and bravery are truly inspiring. You've not only helped Joe, but you've also brought the community together. That's something very special. Lily blushed, feeling both proud and humbled. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. I just did what felt right. Mr. Reynolds nodded. And that's precisely why I wanted to meet you. I was once in a situation similar to Joe's. I know how it feels to be down and out, to struggle every day. Someone helped me, and because of that, I was able to turn my life around. Now, I want to pay it forward. Lily listened intently, her heart swelling with emotion. That's amazing. What do you have in mind? Mr. Reynolds leaned forward, his eyes shining with determination. I'd like to offer you a scholarship to any college of your choice. But more than that, I want to start a community project to help the homeless, with you as the ambassador. Your role would be to lead initiatives, raise awareness, and continue the work you've already started. Lily's eyes widened in astonishment. Me? An ambassador? I don't know if I'm qualified for that. Mr. Reynolds smiled reassuringly. You're more than qualified, Lily. You have the heart, the passion, and the drive to make a real difference. And you won't be alone. You'll have support from me and my team. Lily's dad placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. This is a big decision, Lily. But I think you can do it. You've already done so much. Lily took a deep breath, her mind racing with possibilities. She thought about Joe and all the people like him who needed help. She thought about the community she had already started to build. And she thought about her dreams for the future. I'd love to do it, Lily said finally, her voice filled with determination. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. I won't let you down. Mr. Reynolds beamed. I know you won't, Lily. Together, we can make a real impact. They spent the rest of the afternoon discussing plans and ideas for the community project. Mr. Reynolds introduced Lily to his team, a group of dedicated individuals who shared his vision for helping the homeless. They talked about fundraising events, outreach programs, and ways to involve the community. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the mansion's gardens, Lily felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face it with determination and hope. When Lily and her dad returned home, they were greeted by her mom, who had been anxiously waiting for news. Lily shared everything with her, from the scholarship offer to the community project. This is incredible, Lily, her mom said, hugging her tightly. We're so proud of you. Lily smiled, feeling a sense of pride and excitement. I couldn't have done it without you all. And I couldn't have done it without Joe. I need to tell him the good news. The next day, Lily rushed to the park to find Joe sitting on their usual bench. His eyes lit up as she approached, and she couldn't contain her excitement. Joe, I have amazing news. Lily exclaimed, sitting down beside him. What is it, Lily? Joe asked, his curiosity piqued. Lily took a deep breath and explained everything, Mr. Reynolds, the scholarship, the community project, and her new role as an ambassador. Joe listened, his eyes filling with tears of joy. Lily, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. And it's all because of you, Joe, Lily said, taking his hand. You inspired me to make a difference. And now we can help even more people. Joe squeezed her hand, his voice choked with emotion. Thank you, Lily. You've changed my life. As they sat together, watching the children play and the leaves fall, Lily felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The ripple effect of her kindness had led to incredible opportunities and the chance to make a lasting impact. And so, with each passing day, Lily embraced her new role with passion and dedication, determined to create a brighter future for those in need. The anticipation hung in the air like a tangible force. Lily stood in front of her mirror, adjusting her outfit for the third time that afternoon. Today was the day she and her parents were visiting Mr. Reynolds at his mansion to discuss the community project in more detail. Her heart raced with excitement and nerves. Are you ready, sweetheart? Her mom called from the hallway. Lily took a deep breath and nodded at her reflection. Yeah, I'm ready, she said, trying to sound more confident than she felt. Her dad was waiting by the front door, keys in hand. Don't worry, Lily. Everything will be fine, he reassured her, giving her a supportive smile. The drive to Mr. Reynolds' mansion felt shorter this time, the familiarity of the route calming Lily's nerves slightly. When they arrived, the same well-dressed chauffeur greeted them and led them inside. Mr. Reynolds welcomed them warmly. Lily, Mr. and Mrs. Adams, thank you for coming. Please, make yourselves comfortable. They sat in the cozy sitting room where Lily had first met Mr. Reynolds. The room was filled with natural light, and the view of the gardens outside was breathtaking. I'm glad you could all make it, Mr. Reynolds began, his tone friendly yet professional. Lily, your enthusiasm and dedication have inspired me and my team. We've been working on some plans for the community project, and I'd like to share them with you. He handed Lily a folder filled with documents outlining various initiatives, job training programs, temporary housing, medical assistance, and community events to raise awareness and funds. These are just preliminary ideas, Mr. Reynolds explained. We'd love to hear your thoughts and any suggestions you might have. Lily's eyes widened as she looked through the folder. This is incredible, she said, her voice full of awe. I can't believe how much thought and effort you've put into this. Mr. Reynolds smiled. We're all passionate about making a difference. But we need someone with your perspective and experience to guide us. Lily felt a swell of pride and responsibility. I'm honored to be a part of this. I think it's important to focus on the immediate needs, like food and shelter, while also providing long-term support, like job training and counseling. Excellent points, Mr. Reynolds said, nodding. And we'll make sure to address those areas. We're also planning a fundraiser to kickstart the project. We'd love for you to speak at the event, share your story, and inspire others to get involved. Lily's heart skipped a beat. I'd be happy to. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but I know it's important. You'll do great, Lily, her mom said, squeezing her hand. You have a powerful story to tell. Mr. Reynolds spent the next hour going over the details of the project and the upcoming fundraiser. Lily and her parents asked questions, offered suggestions, and shared their excitement about the impact they hoped to make. As the meeting wrapped up, Mr. Reynolds led them on a tour of the mansion and its grounds. The lush gardens, with their vibrant flowers and meticulously trimmed hedges, provided a serene backdrop to their conversation. You have a beautiful home, Mr. Reynolds, Lily's dad remarked. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds replied. I've been very fortunate. That's why it's so important to me to give back and help others. After the tour, they returned to the sitting room for a final discussion. I'll have my team stay in touch with you, Lily, to coordinate the fundraiser and the launch of the project, Mr. Reynolds said. We're aiming to make a significant impact in our community. Lily felt a renewed sense of purpose as they left the mansion. She was eager to get started, knowing that together, they could create meaningful change. The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity. Lily balanced her schoolwork with meetings and planning sessions for the community project. She felt overwhelmed at times but remained committed, knowing the importance of their mission. One afternoon, while visiting Joe at the park, Lily shared the latest updates with him. The fundraiser is coming up soon, she said excitedly. We're hoping to raise enough money to start several programs right away. Joe listened intently, his eyes shining with hope. You're doing an amazing job, Lily. I'm so proud of you. Thanks, Joe, Lily replied, smiling. I couldn't have done any of this without your support. They sat together in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the children play nearby. Lily felt a deep sense of gratitude for Joe's friendship and the journey they had embarked on together. As the fundraiser approached, Lily grew increasingly nervous. She spent hours preparing her speech, wanting to convey the importance of their work and inspire others to join their cause. Her parents and friends offered encouragement, helping her practice and refine her words. The night of the fundraiser arrived, and the venue was bustling with activity. The room was elegantly decorated, filled with people eager to support the cause. Lily stood backstage, her heart pounding in her chest. You've got this, Lily, her dad said, giving her a reassuring pat on the back. Just speak from your heart. Mr. Reynolds approached, smiling warmly. Are you ready, Lily? Lily took a deep breath and nodded. Yes, I'm ready. As she stepped onto the stage, the room fell silent, all eyes on her. She felt a wave of nervousness but pushed it aside, focusing on the importance of the moment. Good evening, everyone, Lily began, her voice steady. Thank you all for being here tonight. I want to share a story with you, a story about kindness, hope, and the power of community. She spoke about Joe and the impact he had on her life, about the bullies in the park and how that moment had sparked a journey of compassion and action. She shared her vision for the community project and the difference they hoped to make. Our community is only as strong as our willingness to support one another, Lily said, her voice filled with conviction. Together, we can create a brighter future for those in need. Thank you for being a part of this journey. The room erupted in applause, and Lily felt a rush of relief and pride. She had done it. As she stepped off the stage, Mr. Reynolds greeted her with a beaming smile. You were fantastic, Lily, he said. Your words were inspiring. Lily's parents hugged her tightly. "We're so proud of you, sweetheart," her mom said, tears in her eyes. The fundraiser was a resounding success. They raised more money than they had hoped for, enough to launch several initiatives right away. Lily felt overwhelmed with gratitude and excitement as she realized the impact they could make. In the days that followed, the community project kicked off with enthusiasm. Volunteers came forward to help, and programs were put into action. The park, once a place of isolation for Joe, became a symbol of hope and transformation. Lily continued to visit Joe, sharing updates and celebrating their progress. She knew there was still much work to be done, but she felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Together, they had started a movement of kindness and compassion, proving that one person's actions could indeed make a world of difference. And as they looked toward the future, they knew that the best was yet to come. The success of the fundraiser marked the beginning of a transformative journey for Lily and the community. The following months were a blur of activity, filled with meetings, planning sessions, and community events. Lily found herself juggling her schoolwork with her new responsibilities, but the support from her family, friends, and Mr. Reynolds kept her motivated. Every afternoon, after finishing her schoolwork, Lily would head to the park to meet Joe. The park had become a symbol of hope and change, with new faces appearing every day to offer their help. Volunteers set up food stations, medical tents, and areas where people could find information about job training and housing. One sunny afternoon, as Lily arrived at the park, she saw Joe talking to a group of children, teaching them how to carve simple wooden figures. His face was alight with joy, and the children were captivated by his stories and skills. "Hi, Joe!" Lily called out, walking up to the group. Joe looked up and smiled warmly. "Lily, come and join us. I'm showing the kids how to make these little carvings." Lily sat down and watched as Joe's hands skillfully shaped the wood. She marveled at how far he had come since they first met. The community project had given him a renewed sense of purpose, and he had become a beloved figure in the neighborhood. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Joe and Lily sat on their usual bench, watching the children play. "You've done something incredible here, Lily," Joe said, his voice filled with admiration. "This park, this community, it's all because of you." Lily shook her head, smiling. "I couldn't have done it without you, Joe. You were the one who inspired me to take action." Joe's eyes glistened with emotion. "I'm just glad to be a part of it. And I have some good news, I got the job at the carpentry shop. I start next week." Lily's face lit up with joy. "That's amazing, Joe. I'm so happy for you." They sat in companionable silence, reflecting on how much had changed. Lily thought about the journey they had taken together, from that first encounter in the park to this moment of triumph. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the friendship they had forged and the lives they had touched. The next few weeks were a flurry of activity as the community project continued to grow. The park became a vibrant hub of support and hope, with more people getting involved every day. Lily's role as ambassador kept her busy, but she relished every moment, knowing they were making a real difference. One afternoon, Lily received a call from Mr. Reynolds. "Lily, I have some exciting news," he said, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. "We've secured funding for a permanent community center. I'd like you to help design and oversee the project." Lily was speechless. "A community center? That's incredible, Mr. Reynolds. I'd be honored to help." The weeks that followed were filled with planning meetings and design sessions. Lily worked closely with Mr. Reynolds and his team to create a space that would serve as a beacon of hope for the community. They envisioned a place where people could access resources, find support, and build connections. The day of the community center's groundbreaking ceremony arrived, and the park was buzzing with excitement. Lily stood on the makeshift stage, looking out at the crowd. Her parents, friends, and countless community members had gathered to celebrate this momentous occasion. Mr. Reynolds stepped up to the microphone, smiling warmly. "Thank you all for being here today. This community center represents the culmination of our collective efforts to make a difference. And none of this would have been possible without Lily Adams, whose compassion and dedication have inspired us all. The crowd erupted in applause as Lily stepped forward, her heart pounding with pride and gratitude. She took a deep breath and began to speak. "When I first met Joe in this park, I had no idea how much my life would change," Lily began, her voice steady. "What started as a simple act of kindness has grown into something far greater than I ever imagined. This community center is a testament to the power of coming together and supporting one another. Thank you all for your unwavering support and for believing in this vision." Tears welled up in Lily's eyes as she looked out at the faces of the people she had come to know and care about. The applause was thunderous, and she felt a profound sense of accomplishment and hope. After the ceremony, Lily and her parents walked through the park, soaking in the joy and excitement of the day. They stopped by Joe's carving station, where he was busy creating a beautiful wooden plaque for the new community center. "Hey, Joe," Lily said, smiling as she watched him work. "That's beautiful." Joe looked up, his eyes twinkling. "It's a gift for the community center. A little reminder of where it all started." Lily felt a lump in her throat. "Thank you, Joe. This means so much." The months that followed were a whirlwind of construction and preparation. The community center slowly took shape, and Lily worked tirelessly to ensure everything was perfect. She balanced her schoolwork with her new responsibilities, driven by the knowledge that they were creating something truly special. Finally, the day of the community center's grand opening arrived. The building stood proudly at the edge of the park, a symbol of hope and resilience. The event drew a large crowd, and the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Lily stood on the stage, surrounded by her family, friends, and community members. Mr. Reynolds handed her a pair of oversized scissors, and she stepped forward to cut the ribbon. "Welcome to the new heart of our community," Lily said, her voice filled with emotion. "This center is a place where everyone is welcome, where support and resources are available to all. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we've made a dream come true." The ribbon fell, and the crowd cheered as the doors to the community center opened for the first time. People streamed inside, exploring the various rooms and facilities. There were areas for job training, medical assistance, counseling, and community events. It was a place where people could find help and hope, just as Lily had envisioned. As the sun set on that momentous day, Lily stood outside the community center, watching the lights twinkle in the windows. Joe joined her, and they stood in silence, taking in the beauty of what they had created. "Thank you, Lily," Joe said softly. "For everything." Lily smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Thank you, Joe, for inspiring me to make a difference." Together, they had started a ripple effect of kindness and compassion that had transformed their community. And as they looked toward the future, they knew that this was just the beginning of a brighter, more hopeful world.